Psychopathic.
Nothing to fear.
So today is the 8th of September. It's Wednesday. I haven't had an opportunity to film a talking clip like that. I filmed a few clips throughout the past week. I participated in the live reading sprints for the magical readathon. Other than that, I've just been reading. I have filmed a few videos. I just thought I would update you. I was thinking of doing a vlog a week for this, but I don't know, given that it's already been a week and a half. Oh, has it been? Maybe just 1 week, really. So I don't know, we'll see if I decide to do 3 vlogs instead of 4, or if I just do one big monthly vlog for this. Just to update you a little bit with my rating, I have read and finished Survive the Night by Riley Sager. So this is a thriller suspense. It's set in the 90s. This girl is looking for a ride to get home from her university because her roommate has been murdered by the campus killer, who's a serial killer, and she has had a really hard time with that, so she just decides to leave university for a little bit. She gets into a car with a stranger who may or may not be the serial killer. I enjoyed this book because I went into it with really low expectations, because I've had heard so many people rant about this book and say that it was definitely not their favorite, and I agree with that. This is definitely not my favorite. I've read 3 of his books now, and I would say this is my least favorite, but I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it. I read it in 2 days. You are reading from her perspective, and she's a bit of an unreliable character. I think there is some mental health issues here that are playing with the suspense, and honestly I would have rather not have that aspect in it. I'm not sure it was necessary to the story, and I don't think it really added anything to it. I would have been happy without the mental health aspect, honestly. She rambles a lot in her head, which makes minutes go by like hours. It gets really redundant and boring at some points, because instead of having action, you just have thoughts that just are circling, really. Also, I have to say that I've heard a lot of people are complaining that Riley Sager just can't write women, and in this one this is very obvious to me, because I just can't. I'm sorry, I just can't believe that a woman would make that many poor decisions, that many unsafe decisions. I don't know, I just can't believe that. In the world that we all have to grow up in, I think we are taught about safety and about self-preservation, especially as women, because we deal with unsafe situations on a daily basis for us. I understand poor choices, but being so unsafe so many times in this book, I just don't believe it. I think most women would not act like that. I think it's pretty obvious if you read that as a woman. I think you will get frustrated because it just does not make sense. The twist was very obvious, and it's not the first time in his books that I'm not surprised by the twist. The only one that surprised me, because I had no idea where this was going, was look at every door. But for this one, like, I knew what was gonna happen, especially early on, because we did get a chapter from the driver's perspective, and immediately I could tell what was happening. So that was kind of annoying, but also the twist, I think, obviously you're only given a few characters, so it's kind of easy to guess. The ending was kind of wacky, I would say, more than usual, but other than that, I didn't hate it. I think it was still fun to get through. I did enjoy the banter between the two, and I really wished we would have had more of that because it was really creepy, and I wished this was turned up, because at the end of this I felt like not much really happened. It wasn't really that creepy in the end because we only got a few scenes that were making us think like, what the fuck is going on? So yeah, I gave it a 3-star. I read this one for the Obsidian Falls, read a mystery or a thriller book. Alright, and now I am reading The Witch King. I am about halfway through, and I am reading this one. This is for the Tower of Rumination, I think. Read a 5-star prediction. Oh my god! Oh my god, this is so good. I love it so much. Like I said, I'm halfway through it, and it just goes by so fast. So this gives me the same feeling I had when I read The House in the Syrian Sea. It's something I just realized yesterday, and I was like, oh my god, I'm feeling the same type of emotions, in the sense that I'm reading it and I'm loving the story and I'm loving what we're doing and where we're getting at, but I'm also reading too fast. It's going by so fast. Stop, I need more. So this is the first in the series, so hopefully I will enjoy the ending and continue on, although like I feel like I will continue on for sure. Also, this reminds me in terms of the tone and the writing style of, what is the other book by TJ Klune, The Extraordinaries. It reminds me of that because of the writing style. It's quite of a light writing style. Sometimes it almost breaks the fourth wall a little bit, and it's not that serious in the tone, but also it really is serious. It is way more serious than The Extraordinaries, I feel like. It really tackles a lot of hard themes, and I want to see where this goes. This is really good. I'm enjoying it a lot. I really like the relationships. I really like the world and the explanations, even though sometimes it's a little bit strange with like using phones to send curses and things like that, so it's interesting. Definitely gonna continue. I should be done by today. Well, it is the plan. I have to be done by today, but if I'm not, it is what it is. It doesn't really matter. I have my little snack here. My grocery store was out of my usual iced tea, so I got the raspberry flavored one. I'm not sure if I like it or if I absolutely hate it. I can't tell if I like it or not. I feel like I don't. I'm not gonna stop. And there's gonna be 5 choices that you can make during the whole of September. G is narrating the story as we go along through the journey on the Novice path. We have reached the Ashthorn tree, and so we have a decision to make. So basically this tree, you can't really linger around it, or I guess you shouldn't, and you cannot definitely touch it unless you have special permission to study it. So basically the question is like, what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna want to get a closer look to this tree, or you just gonna be moving along. So I'll tell you what I would have done, but my character is not really based on me. It's not gonna be my choice really, but I definitely would not have touched it, because if that's the rule, I just follow the rules. So definitely not, although I would have sucked in as much as I could, I'm sure. So here are the choices. What do? A. Have utmost respect not only for the necessary guidance put in place, but even more so for nature. Most is beyond us, grand and amazing. I take the sight in and move on. Which probably would be something that I would do personally. Then we have B. I know not to mess with any writing I cannot decipher, so I don't approach it. But I also do not leave without quickly copying a few symbols on a piece of parchment as I pass it, to try and look up later. And then C, the writing is not what intrigues you, the whispers do. What stories does it hold? You plan on coming back here after dark to meditate and see if you can align with the tree's plane of existence. Or D, you believe that the energy of those ancients is inherently intertwined with our own and is meant to be shared to live on. You plan on coming back after dark to touch the tree and siphon energy, power and magic, to learn it, to both honor it and prepare for the journey ahead. Okay. My character Willow probably would not choose number D, because she's never really been inspired by power, but she is a very curious being. She has grown up her whole life in the forest with her parents not really setting any types of boundaries or rules. She's always learned by making mistakes. I think she would definitely not touch it just for power or to take power out of it. Would she go and meditate? From what I've seen, a lot of people are choosing B, which is the one I think Willow would go for, because like I said, she's very curious. She also knows to respect the tree and what it all represents. It's between B and C for me. I think I have to go with B. I have to go with copying a few symbols on parchment paper so you can try to look them up later. I would have gone with D if it wasn't about sucking the freaking energy and power out of the tree. Like that's not what Willow would do. I guess we're going with B. Let's do it. Last night I finished The Witch King and I really enjoyed it. This is a very high 4-star for me, so I just rounded up to 5 stars. Basically, this is about Wyatt, who is a trans witch whose best friend is the Fae Prince. Early on in their childhood, they realize that they are mates. Unfortunately, the witches are oppressed by the Fae. Wyatt just doesn't want to get married and be who he is supposed to be because of the bond. So he escapes to our world in hopes that, you know, he can find who he is and just live the life that he wants. Unfortunately, his fiance, the prince, finds him 3 years later and kind of forces him to get back with him in order for them to get married and seal the throne stuff. This is a contemporary fantasy. The fantasy is really easy to digest. I don't think it's anything super special. If you're not really into fantasy, I think this is a good book to get into. The magic system is not super intense. I really liked the characters. They were all flawed and felt quite real. Wyatt has this anger because he's been oppressed his whole life and told that he's not worth it, really. Because of this anger and those feelings that have built up over time. He makes a lot of poor decisions. There are some things here and there that might be a little bit, I'm not sure about that, because I think a few things here and there are not discussed enough, like what Emir says or does. It would have been nice to have a little bit more discussion about that and the boundaries and stuff like that. But otherwise, I really liked it. I hope that in the second book we really get to know the characters even more. This is a very low fantasy, I would say. I'll link down below an interview that Perpetual Pages did with the author. I think it gives you a little bit more insight about what was the author's intent about this book. So yeah, next I have to start now on this one for the wolf. I'll try to get some reading done today. I had a migraine since yesterday. I still have it today, so I'm gonna try to maybe read a chapter just to get me into it, but I don't think I'm gonna push myself to read too much today. I feel like today I should probably rest up a little bit. I went to the gym this morning. That's all I have for now. Have started For the Wolf last night. I just read one chapter and there were like a few pages before that. I like it so far. I like the writing a lot. So far it does remind me of Uprooted. There was a lot of info dumping at the beginning that I don't think was really well done. It was in form of a dialogue, giving information to people who already know all that stuff. But the rest was interesting and the writing is still good nonetheless. Actually, I don't know if today I'll have much time to read more of it, but I'll try to read a little bit more. I do have a lot to do and I am going to eat this now. I feel a little bit better than, was it yesterday that I had the migraine? But it's still there, it's still lingering. If any of you have migraines, once it happens, it always takes a few days to go away, so that's nice. If you're lucky, otherwise it could be longer than that. Hey Google, who won the football game last night?
Yesterday, the Cowboys lost to the Buccaneers 31-29.
Yeah. 31-29, that was a pretty tight game though. So it's the weekend of the second week and, well, the first week and a half. I've just realized that I've got a lot of footage to edit, so I'm just gonna cut this vlog short here and I'll include whatever happens on the weekend into the next part of the vlog. I am still at the beginning of For the Wolf. Nothing has really changed. There is a new choice, so you'll see my answer in the next vlog. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know how your readathon is going or your reading month is going. I've done a lot of Halloween editing that took me a long time to do, so hopefully you enjoyed that. It's gonna be sprinkled throughout my videos up until like mid-November, I'd say. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.